So for 3 months, he had no recollection of what was happening to him. He just thought it was a dream, that it was very real to him. So it was confusing, very confusing. A lot of things that he's being left in the dark on. Okay? Let's continue.
Dreams, and didn't think much more of it, except that I kept having the same one over and over again, which was not normal for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is odd, right?
Yeah.
And but the way it progressed was one night it jumped from one extreme to the other. So there was a night where it was extreme, meaning that I became as these things came and woke me up, I found myself standing and I was dead awake conscious, and then I would like black out for a second, then I'd be conscious for a second, but just as conscious as you and I are talking. And
that kind of reminds me of Ricky G's story. He started like coming into consciousness and then coming out of consciousness and like blacking out and then regaining his consciousness during the experience. It kind of reminds me of Ricky G's story. Interesting. Well, what are they doing to knock us out? Let's find out.
It was very vivid, and it was more vivid. It was more real than it was a dream to me. Walking down the hallway, I could feel my feet on the carpet. I could see the as we went into the guest bedroom and walked through the window. It was like I blacked out.
Okay, so they're allowing him to become more conscious during these experiences. Not completely, okay? They still have him a little woozy. He's on some kind of a drug or whatever, okay? I guess you could say. And whenever they want to, if they don't like something he's thinking, they'll just knock him out.
Just as we came to the window, then I came conscious again as we walked through it, and I was in the yard, and I felt the cold grass on my feet. But what proved to me something was really going on is when we had came back through the window after the experience in the woods, which at the time I had no idea what was going on. I had no memory of that. But coming back through, when I walked through the lawn of the coming back, we had these bushes in our yard, and they had these thousands of little flowers on them. I think they're called honeysuckle flowers, and they would stick to your feet.
Right.
And coming through the window and going back into the bedroom, when I woke up the next morning, I said, man, this thing was just like it really happened. And so now I'm awake. I get up. This is normal. I went into the guest bedroom, and what I saw really astounded me.
So I guess the Greys are responsible for the death of some of the vegetation here on this planet, because they killed a whole bunch of honeysuckle flowers in the process of taking Jim in and out of his house.
Scared me, actually, because I could see my footprints in the lawn, and I could see half of my heel was in the lawn, and then the toes were embedded in the carpet, as if the window wasn't there, and the honeysuckle flowers were in the footprints in the carpet in my guest bedroom. I could see them with the honeysuckle flowers.
Okay, so we get it. So there's a technology that they're using that essentially makes you non-physical for a duration of time, and you can pass through walls. Okay, I'll buy that.
Flowers embedded in the carpet as I walked through the bedroom back into the hallway.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and it was impossible. And I said, how can this be possible? There's a window here, and it had drapes, it had blinds, it had all of that. So that was like the first shock of something is really happening here that I couldn't explain.
Well, I was going to ask how you separate the dream from the chaff, and you sure just told me. At that point, I would think that a deep fear would sort of start to set in when you realize that, God, these weren't dreams. This is really happening.
Yeah. And
you would only have a deep fear in you. Now, first of all, this wouldn't happen to you if you know who Jesus Christ is, because there's no way they can approach the living God. Okay? Let's just continue here.
You're exactly right. So it's real, and it shook me up. It kept me from operating properly during the day, but I was functioning normally, but I was still keeping it to myself.
Okay, well, this is obviously an extremely strong individual that can handle this, because this is some pretty creepy stuff for somebody who doesn't even understand the whole alien issue, right? So they're confusing the shit out of him and scaring the shit out of him. That's what's happening.
So at that point, which I didn't mention, I didn't mention anything to my wife. I didn't say anything to anybody. I just took the vacuum cleaner and got every little leaf, every little blade of grass, all the honeysuckle flowers, and said, the next time this happens, I'm going to come into this room and see. I now know that they were progressively adapting me to what was about to happen, which was extreme, which really changed. That's called being pulled, what I call being pulled the easy way. Whenever a craft is on the ground or landed, they use a technology to escort you to the craft by walking you to it, but you can walk through solid objects. They create some kind of field. It's technology.
Let me ask you a question. What gives you the right to bring me on a craft without asking me whether or not I want to join you on a craft? Are you trying to put me below you because you're technologically advanced? My little alien gray tormentors. You got another thing coming. This is all, I mean, you're just going to get annihilated. Little bastards. Let's continue. Sorry.
And you walk through walls and things of that nature. But again, I had that experience, and I went into that room, and again, then I could see the footprints, and I could see the honeysuckle flowers. But what really shook me up and really changed my life, messed it up for a solid 18 months to 6 years, which I'll get into, which was real. It was traumatizing. It was horror-filled. The MO at that time was isolation, fear, confusion. I felt like I had been abducted into a war that I didn't even know existed. I called it like an alien boot camp, and I can get into that. And all that.
What a horrible, horrible feeling he's describing. You know what's happening there? What I see happening there is I see his spirit being beat down to a point where he's just completely, absolutely 100%, you know, some bosses use this technique in leading people through jobs in the way that they want them to act. They'll beat you down and make you feel totally insignificant and then try to mold them the way that they want you. The first thing they need you to do is disbelieve in yourself, take away any confidence that you might have in yourself or your own beliefs, and just scare the shit out of you.
Stuff was terrible the first 6 years, and then
okay, that's the end of that one. So I'm going to stop this one and go to the next one with me, okay?